sorry for harm I have caused.
So it came from over the line of control, which is that way, and it landed here.
Give your wife again! Give your wife again! Give your wife again!
The Trump administration announced its proposal to allow undocumented immigrant families to be detained together indefinitely, undoing what's called the Flores Settlement Agreement. That agreement, in place since 1997, says that minors can only be detained for 20 days. After that, kids are either separated from their parents or the whole family is released. Trump doesn't like either of those options, but his effort to undo Flores will most likely be challenged in court. Brazil's Amazon rainforest has experienced a record number of fires this year, with more than 74,000 reported, an 85% increase from the same time last year. Environmental experts blame illegal loggers burning land to make new clearings, as well as far-right President Jair Bolsonaro's anti-environment policies. But today, Bolsonaro offered his own unsubstantiated theory that foreign-backed NGOs are setting the fires to attack him for cutting their funding. March for Our Lives, the anti-gun violence group formed after Parkland, unveiled an official platform, what it's calling a peace plan, that it hopes the 2020 candidates will adopt. The plan includes calls for a national gun registry and an assault weapons ban, but the group also recognizes the need for generational change, so the proposal calls for automatic voter registration for every American who turns 18. Denmark is still having none of President Trump's apparently serious idea to buy Greenland, and still puzzled by his decision to cancel his state visit to Denmark as a result. Trump, after tweeting praise of the directness of Denmark's prime minister last night, today reverted to form.
I thought that the prime minister's statement that it was absurd, it was an absurd idea, it was nasty. I thought it was an inappropriate statement. All she had to do is say, no, we wouldn't be interested.
This week, Native American activists and tribal leaders demanded the attention of the presidential candidates. And they got it at the first ever Native American Presidential Forum held in Sioux City, Iowa. For 2 days, the Americans with the longest memories were asked what they wanted in a president.
We come here today as citizens and leaders of proud tribal nations whose 6.8 million population has been largely ignored. We hope this event signals a change in that treatment.
The political map changed in 2016. Some states that were thought of as reliably blue flipped as part of President Trump's victory. But the margins were small. Native voters have enough political power to swing some of these states back to Democrats. For it to work, they need to turn out. That's why you found 11 candidates answering tough questions here.
So that we make sure when this money starts coming in for opioid treatment, that it's shared with tribal communities, but it also covers these other forms of addiction.
This is an exercise in what do you really know about Indian country? And what are you willing to do?
Jamie Edwards is a member of the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe in Minnesota. He's part of the tribal government, working as a liaison between his band and state and federal officials.
It's not about commitments, it's about, a vision that includes Indian people, right? And that recognizes the wrongs, is respectful of the fact that tribes are governments, right? And need to be treated so. I mean, the Indian tribes are mentioned in the U.S. Constitution. If I were to go around Sioux City right now, how many people other than the Indian people I would talk to would even know that?
Are the candidates doing their homework?
Some are. They came here, which means they at least realize the importance. That's a start, right? Showing up. You gotta at least show up, right? If you don't truly understand, but you care, I think folks will give you a chance. If they come back to you a year later and you're still kind of saying the same thing, well, then you didn't really take it seriously. And so, you will begin to be diminished in the minds of those folks.
If you're gonna win over this room, you better know what you're talking about.
Will you support the removal of the STAIN Act?
which is called.
So, thank you for the question and for bringing up that very important issue. And obviously what happened, the word massacre is the best way to describe that incident, right? The number of innocent women and children who were killed in that battle is stunning. When you, what's that?
It wasn't a battle.
It wasn't a battle. I'm sorry, in the incident, it wasn't a battle.
On the other hand, this is how you talk about the Remove the Stain Act, a bill that would strip U.S. soldiers of the medals of honor given them after the 1890 massacre at Wounded Knee.
And so my question is, will you support the removal of the Stain Act?
The answer is absolutely.
The candidate everyone was waiting for was Elizabeth Warren.
Is she going to have a hard time out here?
I don't think so.
No?
I am sorry for harm I have caused. I have listened and I have learned a lot, and I am grateful for the many conversations that we've had together.
With the apology out of the way, she gave the crowd exactly what they wanted: detailed knowledge of the issues wrapped up in a plan.
So here's what I want to do differently. I want to say on all federal lands, all lands near tribal reservation lands, that it is the tribes who are not just consulted, but who actually have to make an informed decision. And they are decision makers before the federal government goes forward with actions on other federal lands.
There were a lot of good comments. Senator Warren was great. Bernie, he's a natural. Ileana Castro, who was here. I think Delaney might be the only one who didn't quite, get the briefing documents.
There's more to winning this vote than showing up, however. These voters have long-standing and justifiable skepticism. Is it hard to get someone to vote when they can point to a treaty that the federal government has actually broken with them?
One of the things I've learned is Indian people are very political, right? And are very cognizant and aware of the atrocities, but they're also aware of the opportunity. And if a candidate can prove that can show and convince the community that they're going to protect their interests through their advocacy while in office, Indian country will show up.
Munibur Rahman, a 49-year-old shopkeeper, was with his family when a mortar shell hit his home last week and killed him. This village is on the Pakistan side of the line of control, the de facto militarized border which divides this part of the contested Himalayan territory into two states, one controlled by Islamabad, the other by New Delhi.
This is the area where this shell hit.
So it came from over the line of control, which is that way, and it landed here.
Yeah, it came from the army post backside. You can see from there backside, and you can see these walls. This is walls of the house.
Rahman died 10 days after Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi revoked Articles 370 and 35A of India's constitution, which gave special status to the nearly 8 million people living in the country's only Muslim-majority state. Since then, the Indian side of Kashmir has been on lockdown, and at least 2,300 Kashmiris have been arrested. With the changes that Prime Minister Modi has done in the Indian-administered side of Kashmir, have you seen any change in how many attacks have been taking place?
Yeah, there is more bombardment from Indian army, there is more firings, there is more target killings from Indian sides. This has become routine here. People dying here day by day. Yesterday, there was a nearby one person going. They hit, they bombarded. And his neck was totally cut. And his face was, even we could not recognize who is this person.
There are so many families and so many people who've been affected by this conflict.
Yeah.
How does that make the people respond?
Yeah, of course, when my brother will die, what I will feel? What will be my feelings? I will not be angry. I will try to kill another also. Right or wrong?
India claims it acted in response to Kashmiri separatism, a growing movement it accuses Pakistan of backing. Is there any militants?
No militancy. You can you find here all of these people? This is civilian people. They are staying here. They are residing here. Last from their fathers, forefathers, maybe last thousands of years they are living from the forefathers here. And this is the civilian people. Can you find here any militants?
So you're saying that India is indiscriminately shelling civilians?
Yes, this is. You can say this is war crime.
That anger, directed at the India government, has spread across the Kashmir Valley.
This is our land. We Kashmir is divided by both countries. I want to go there to gun and fight with them.
What would you like the Pakistani government to do in response?
First, I appeal Pakistani governments, please come forward and to make our voice, to separate our voice.
For now, Pakistan has opted to make its voice heard by asking the United Nations to step in. Last Friday, the Security Council met to discuss Kashmir for the first time since 1971. But nothing came of the closed-door session. There were members of the United Nations Security Council who appear to want to put the onus on Pakistan and India to enter bilateral talks in order to resolve this situation.
For how long that will continue? How many years have passed? Can the world remain quiet and keep on pushing two parties to talk with which one party doesn't want to talk?
India
doesn't want to talk. So, can it be settled bilaterally? It cannot be settled bilaterally.
So India just refusing to talk to Pakistan?
India is refusing not only to talk to Pakistan, India is refusing to acknowledge that there is an issue. In fact, the United Nations Military Observers Group of India and Pakistan is there in India and Pakistan. It's an international issue.
Many Indian politicians, including the Indian ambassador to the United Nations, have said that Kashmir on the Indian side is an Indian issue, not a Pakistani issue.
They can say that whatever they want to. But the United Nations resolution have said that it's not an Indian issue. What else can I say? So I think India is trying to fool the world.
Is military action potentially on the table?
For us, no. For us, we are going to keep on internationalizing that. I think the Prime Minister has made it very clear. We don't want war. We don't want to start a war. But we cannot take everything lying down. If India starts a war, it is our right to defend ourselves. No country in the world can forgo that right of defending ourselves.
I haven't seen some of these pictures in years. A lot of pictures of my kids. This is Sammy's bar mitzvah. I love that picture. You want to see a wedding picture? That was a wedding picture. I actually thought I threw it out. Andrew and I were legally married 21 years. Civil divorce was October of 2009. In the Jewish religion, you get two divorces. One is civil, and one is by your religion, the Jewish divorce, which is the get. A woman cannot remarry if she does not have a get, because in the eyes of the Jewish religion, she's still married. The man can get remarried. So it's like a double-edged sword on the woman. I've been asking for the get the whole time, and he just always held it over my head. Being Jewish, it just means a lot. I do believe in traditions and customs, but I do feel that women out there are desperate. I mean, I'm desperate. This has been going on for 13 years. It's his way of just having control. control of me. There's not a house we're fighting about. There's not jewelry, an estate. There's no cars. There's no kids. There's absolutely no reason other than I don't want to. That's what he told my children, and that's what he tells me. He told me to grow up and move on with my life. I can't. I'm stuck.
The word aguna means chained, and it typically refers to a chained woman, a woman who's chained to a marriage that's functionally over. Even if she has a civil divorce, she can't remarry because she doesn't have a get. A Beth Din is a rabbinical court, a house of law, literally. We believe that the Torah is divine law. We believe that there's a reason for every commandment in the Torah, even if in any given situation it's hard for us to understand the reason. A get is required on a very simple level because the Torah requires a get. The get needs to be written with the husband's own writing materials. And so the scribe who comes with his own writing materials, with paper and with a quill and with ink, he will gift the writing materials to the husband, and then the husband appoints the scribe to write the get. The scribe will fold the get in a certain way that allows it to fit in her hands, like so, and this gets tucked in there. He then places the get in her hand. She then closes her hands on the get, raises it above her head, tucks it under her arm, and then just walks a few steps with it, again to show that the get's hers. That dissolves the marriage as a matter of Jewish law, her receipt of the get from his hand.
That's me, that's one. Two, because they always say you need a body shot. One time somebody said to me, I'm not Jewish, but I work with Jewish people. Does that count? I was like, no. But thank you. Thank you for asking. I'm single. I'm looking, to date and spend my life with somebody, but there's always that barrier that's up that I know it gets to a point and it can't get any further. It's horrible. Tonight, I am actually going to go to Aura, the organization that's been helping me, and I'm excited. I am excited to meet the people that I've been speaking with for years.
I'm the executive director of ORA, and we essentially work to end abuse in the Jewish divorce process. Our tactics really vary, and they're focused on the case itself. In some cases, it could be a demonstration outside their home or their place of business.
One day is too long. She's been waiting for over 4 years.
4 years too long, give your wife a get. There's two sides to a story.
One pushback that we get quite a bit within the observing community is sort of the idea that as a community, you don't air your dirty laundry for everyone to see. Essentially, what we're trying to do is make it so that the person cannot live their lives as if they're not refusing a get. We work within the boundaries of Jewish law and civil law, so any strategy has to be within those parameters, but within those boundaries, we really do whatever we think is going to work.
Oh, we could just put his picture here, Andrew's picture here. Yeah. Should we do that? Yeah. Let me go print it out. One of the greatest challenges of Jill's case was that her husband moved to Florida, which kind of made any kind of efforts we tried complicated. So we had to get creative a little bit. That's when we started planning a rally in Florida.
It looks good.
It looks good? Another 3, you said?
Another 4.
It's actually pretty rare that we'll protest and get a get immediately. What often happens is that the protest sort of changes the landscape. Often these cases are very stuck. Things have been at status quo for several years. It will often bring people back in conversations.
Ooh. Andrew Feldman, give your wife a get.
That was good.
Hi.
Hi, Jill.
Hi, yeah.
Hi, I'm Yao.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Oh my goodness, how are
Good.
you?
Nice to meet you in the flesh and blood. Finally,
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Oh my
Welcome
goodness,
to
thank
our
you.
office.
Let me know. So how does the rally go? So you all show up, and you all have like posters?
We have posters. We sometimes have megaphones. and we explain the case just to give people some background and so they know who they're there for, what they're supporting.
We also want to Facebook Live it, so like you could watch it live if you're not necessarily in Florida.
Thank you. You can help us give out posters, and then we're gonna have people stand on this side and on that side closer to the street, and then when the school comes, we're going to have more people open.
He knows that we're out here right now?
He knows, yeah.
He knows.
He knows.
Andrew Feldman, give your wife a gift. Andrew Feldman, give your wife a gift. Andrew Feldman, give your wife a gift. Come on, everyone, let's make sure Andrew hears us. Feldman, give your wife a gift.
So here from the community, we have a number of people. We have a bunch of local rabbis from local synagogues, and we have some students from Kast Yeshiva High School, and also other community members who heard about it. So we haven't heard from him specifically, but we've heard from someone who's reached out to him, but I don't know if it's actually going to happen.
Andrew, be like FedEx and deliver again!
Thank you so much to everyone for coming. This is an amazing turnout, and we're so grateful. We're here to make sure that Andrew knows that whatever he decides to do, we will keep coming back until he stops abusing Jill by withholding a get and he sets Jill free.
So I went to work, all set to hear about the rally. I got a text message from Aura, who told me they're supposed to meet with Andrew this afternoon at 12:30, and that I need to get to the Best Inn as soon as possible. I'm not sure which way it's going to go.
Hey Jill, how's it going? I just spoke with Rabbi Flug. Apparently Andrew actually confirmed for 12:30 today, so he needs to get in touch with you now. Can you call him? Okay, great. So you get in touch with Rabbi Flug. I promised him I'd pass that along message to you, and call him right now and we'll be in touch, okay? Okay, thanks, Jill. Bye-bye.
Oh, God. I'm just waiting to see if Andrew actually went to the meeting at 12:30. It is now 12:40 p.m. He did. Andrew did show up.
Guys, I just got a text from the rabbi. He did everything he needed to do. Just waiting for them to write and deliver.
No way.
I still can't believe this is happening. Jinx on me! Okay, no, not yet. Let's just...
I have to go upstairs now and talk to the rabbi. They said there's no cameras, no recording devices.
So Jill just texted me. I'm going up now. Like into the Beit Din.
That's crazy. Oh my God.
Hello?
Hey Jill, what's going on?
Oh my God, I got my cat.
Oh my gosh, Mazel
Oh my God, I can't believe it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
How are you feeling?
I can't believe it. I'll let you know when I stop crying. I don't even know how I feel. I can't even thank you enough.
Oh my
I can't even thank you and your organization, and you never ever gave up. I can't thank you enough. I guess he just figured that you guys were not giving up, and I was not going to give up. Oh my God. I'm dying. That's it. 1 million pounds lifted off my shoulders. I feel like I need to go celebrate. Yay! I'm floating in air right now. I really am. I'm just like, I don't know, I could float away. I could be, I don't know, my emotions are all over the place.
Hi, my name is Raphael Saadiq, and today I'm going to be talking about one of the songs from my new LP, Jimmy Lee. The song is called Something Keeps Calling.
Something keeps calling me. I feel the burdens on me.
The message on this record is it's about addiction. I titled the record Jimmy Lee, which is my oldest brother. He was addicted to heroin, and I just wanted to just make a record about maybe some of the struggles he may have went through. Everybody has a Jimmy Lee in their life, and I sort of wanted to put the guy or the lady who's an addict on a pedestal and look at them in a better light. Some addictions are worse than the others, I guess. Woke up in the morning, started playing my guitar, and I started singing Something Keeps Calling, and I just went to the studio, and I did it in maybe a couple hours. It took me maybe 5 to 10 minutes to play guitar, maybe like 10 minutes to play the drums, and it took me maybe 5 minutes to play the bass line, and then it was done. I mean, my particular style of drumming is to knock. I spend a lot of time in the neighborhood watching cars drive by my house every day, like banging music and like banging beats and, speakers in their trunk and like making their trunks bang. And so my drumming comes from that. So this was more like a head snap, that boom. It was pretty much, once I felt that snap, I was like, okay, this is where I need to be. I was going for like a 1975 Ernie Isley distorted, guitar, like a chorusy like type of guitar. But really I was trying to be very simplistic and catch a groove with people that they don't naturally get anymore. It needed to be a little syncopated and make people wait on the next beat. I feel like, that burn. Rob Bacon he's a smoking guitar player, man. I'm glad he's my friend, actually. I called him like, Rob, I got a joint. Bro, you can just be all over it. I sent it to him, and he called me back and just said, hey, man, as soon as my wife go to sleep, bro, it's like I'm gonna turn on the black light, light an incense, and I'm about to kill this shit. Then he sent it back. Yeah, he nailed it. That's the killer crossover right there for us. That's the slam dunk. They ain't doing it like that no more. Nobody is.
This is forever. This is so heavy on me. I'm never, ever turning back.
What I was going for at the end of the record was just sort of release of beauty. The way I'm singing it, this is so heavy on me, and then the part I'm never, ever turning back. Like, I was also saying, like, I'm never gonna be sober. And that's how my brother was. And that's how most people are that use drugs. And I wanted to make something felt like it was the eternal connection, the eternal high.